Hidden away in the beautiful North Wales countryside lies the Black Lion Inn. The original building dates back to the 13th century, and it's said that some of its former visitors don't want to leave. There have been many ghost stories told over the years, but the most famous is that of an American airman. He would be heard banging on the door at night, pleading for help. The police were even called out, but nobody could be found. We wondered if the spirits would make their presence known to us during our investigation. Little did we know that one of the group would have a very personal experience.
During one of the investigations, we came to the conclusion it was a child. It was the child Helen that's up here. But we don't know, but that's what we were told. Won't bother trying to tidy up. And we used to have a chef that worked here years ago, and he wouldn't come in this room. He said, she lives up there, and I'm not going in there. I'm leaving her alone. And he meant Annie. So, might be a good place to...
Temperature?
68.
Fahrenheit,
Yeah.
boil in the bag.
During the initial walkthrough, we take baseline readings for temperature and EMF. We can then compare these results to any fluctuations we find during the investigation.
This is the restaurant. So again, that bit's old, but all the front is new. We did try some table tipping up here once. Now that's the gents' toilet, so nothing's happened in there. So we'll go. But in the ladies' toilet, which we're welcome to go in, I believe arses have been slapped.
Oh wow.
And
Go on, Dylan.
can't get many people in there. But one of my old waitresses said that she was sat there one day and she'd locked up. Everyone was locked. She went to the toilet before she was leaving the building, and somebody was talking to her through the door, and there was nobody here.
Oh my god, that'd be scary.
So she was breaking it. So
that's best place to be when you're doing it.
This is the bar. Some activities happen. Glass smashing on the bar, and the clock. It's got no glass in it. This unit all used to be carpeted, and we came in one day, and that clock was on the floor over here, face down with the glass smashed.
Oh, went up to 3.
Yeah. So to get that clock to there, that if it dropped off the nail, it would just be in front of the fire, wouldn't it? It wouldn't be over here. It was right over here, and we've never put the glass back in just in case it flies again. Don't want to risk it. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
He knows you're talking about it.
And then in the back bar here, this is where we got a lot of readings a couple of times ago. So we were sat around that table and it was just going absolutely berserk.
Really?
Just get some napkins. We've never actually sent people in the kitchen to what I'm looking for. This is quite a... nobody's been in here, and this is all new. But this is where I got poked in the back.
Oh really?
Yeah, it was different. This fridge is new, and that sink used to be in here, and I was stood in here when I got poked in the back, and I thought somebody had come in, but they hadn't. If you've read the report, they hadn't. I was here on my own, and there was definitely something happened in here.
Jane then goes on to tell us about the infamous story of the American airman.
That's where I got poked in the back, and that's when I really thought, okay, let's find out if there is something here. That's what sort of started it all.
Is that what first started it, was it?
Yeah.
So you have heard the airman at the door? Or was that
I haven't heard the airman. No, that's just folklore around here.
Right.
And then when I first met Mike, he just started doing, where you can touch something and feel.
Yeah.
So I was going to try the front door because of this story, but then we realised that that's not the front door as it would have been when the airman died. Because that veranda bit is all new. It was built in the 70s. So the front door would actually be the archway as you where you get to the tiled bit in the bar as you're coming in.
Yeah.
But when we went out there, he picked up on the airman almost straight away, and he gave me all the details that because in the police report I think he's American,
Yeah.
but he's not, he's actually Canadian.
It's Canadian.
And I followed that up. I've been to his grave,
right.
and
So you found him then?
found him, no problem at all, and somebody who was on the flight with him. And then the second time I went to his grave, there was another cross on it, and I thought it was really strange because he's Swedish extraction, he was Canadian. How could there be a cross, you know? So I thought it was some Red Cross person or whatever. Anyway, I picked it up and I read the back of it, and it was in really old writing, old person's writing, and it said, "I will never forget you, I was there." And I thought, ooh, this is really weird. So the following year, no, that year, I put my cross on and I put, "If you knew Arga Larson, please call me," and my phone number. And he phoned me a few months later, and it was a very old gentleman. He said, I picked the phone up and said, "Hello, blah, blah, how do you know Arga Larson?" And it was like, boom. And I said, "Well," I said, "I'd have to tell you that over a cup of tea." I said, because it's a very long story. So he arranged to meet me, and he did. And he was a small boy when the plane crashed. He was only 4, and the plane crashed in front of him.
Wow.
And he's taken me to the crash site. So you can see in the wall where the plane bellied through the wall.
That's not far from here.
It's up the road. And he told me all about the houses and everything that were there then. It's very different now. Where he lived, he took me to where the plane hit the mountain, hit Bradford Hill, poof, went up and then went through the wall. And if you read the flight, all the flight details, it came down on a cloudy, not wintry, but wet weather, bad weather night.
Yeah.
It didn't. It crashed at 8:30 in the morning, bright sunny November morning, because he was stood at the bus stop when it crashed. And his mum covered Arga Larson's body up with a sheet, and he was there when he died. And there was 8 bodies in the plane.
Wow.
And if you read any of the reports,
There was only 3 people in the plane.
yeah, no, there wasn't. There was 8 bodies, and the MOD were up there for 8 weeks, 10 weeks, because obviously they didn't have the expertise they've got now. So they were up there, and there was a huge military presence up there. I think while they took everybody away, and the airplane was something, and he has spent 20 years of his life trying to prove that there was that plane. There was something special about that plane.
Yeah. It was on a certain mission then. And
he's written to the Swedish embassy, Canadian, British, and I've got all the letters at home. Because he said, he said, "My family is sick of hearing about it." He said, "But there's a conspiracy about why that plane came down, when it came down, what it was doing, and how many people were on board. It's all been lied about." So that's another little, which is why I want to have a look outside again, see if we can pick something up.
yeah.
Because I got really incredibly emotional when Mike got in touch with this. Like, it's just like a play on time. It's not actually his spirit, but it really affected me, and it's something I feel I want to carry through. But I haven't got the time to do it at the moment. But I think there's something a lot more about that than just a wartime plane crash. So it's quite interesting, that one.
Certain mission and where he was going. We'll find that now.
No. And it's really weird that, I would never have known any of that.
As we entered the upstairs rooms, Mark seemed to be affected by something, or someone.
Okay.
Feel dead light-headed then.
It is warmer in here. It's up to 74 now.
That's weird.
It's either really hot or really cold up here. There is no happy medium with this room.
I think we should do an investigation in this room.
But we've never done one up here before.
Is it okay to do
Yeah,
one?
it's fine. The guys have never been up here, so.
Has anything happened
We do
up
get
here
Mike
at
in
all,
then,
or
see what he picks up.
To
Then.
be
Yeah,
honest, we
something
don't
in
really
here.
use
you
it.
don't really use it now?
No.
Do I get...
I'm up to 75 degrees, so the temperature will go up because of all us in here. But
living room.
Yeah. This is...
Got it right.
so we need to do something in here then.
Again, this is a really old part of the building, so.
74.
75 now.
75. And nothing on that.
No. Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
going up then.
Something different in here.
When people have stayed over, before I did the bedroom, people used to stay over here. Not very often, occasionally, but they used to say they used to hear noises downstairs in the corridor. And one of my friends particularly, who used to say for security reasons, he wouldn't go in the bedroom and he'd sleep on the sofas in here. And he would always say, oh, bloody hear noises, all flaming night in that place. But it's because it's old, it is drafty.
Yeah.
It's
And the building settling
and
at
you know,
night and things like that. Because you got all the timbers and everything, haven't you? So.
But he used to sleep in here, but nobody ever. I don't use this room. It's just not something that I could go and like. Yeah, I just don't use it. It's not just one of those rooms.
So if you're not using it, you're not gonna.
Yeah.
You know, you're not gonna pick up on anything if it's not used. But.
I mean, I did it years ago because when I bought the pub, my son was 6. So sometimes he'd have to come home from school and do his homework up here and stuff like that. So we had a sitting room so that he could spend some time here until we went home.
Gone now.
But we never use it. So.
And it was as soon as
Oh, what was that?
Light flashing.
light flash next door.
This feels like I'm out of breath.
Mm.
But I haven't done anything strange. I'm come up the stairs like, but
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's the first time you felt it. You haven't felt it anywhere else.
oh.
As I say, none of the guys have ever been in this room, that room. They might have been in that room, but they've not been in this room, or the bedroom that is a bedroom.
We'll see what Mike picks up in here.
Yeah.
Later on.
Yeah. Well, this is the first one you felt anything in.
Yeah.
But there is a rumour that there's a legion of Roman soldiers walks through here with their horses. Don't ask me how, but that's again
On a
been
different
written
level?
somewhere.
That's what you
Shetland ponies. But there is a spring in that corner.
Oh, right, okay.
And this part is ancient, yeah, it's part of the old.
What's the
Temperature 68.5. It's not too bad.
About the way it is, isn't it?
So, with the initial walkthrough completed, it was time to split into different teams. With the lights off and night vision on, what would we find in the darkness? It was time to head into the mouth of the Black Lion.
See if we can get him to make a noise for us. So. If you're in the room with us, can you make a noise? Can you bang on the ceiling? Make something move, tap. Can you make your way to this table? Stand in front of the table.
If there's anybody in, you want to talk to us, you know, just tell us your story or why you're here or anything really. Just talk to us. So, talking downstairs if that picks it up. Well, Mike was here before, he spoke to a lot of the Williamses. So if there are any of the Williamses around, just come and talk into this machine. We can't hear you like Mike can.
Come forward. It's definitely a man and a woman. one of them's name's it's a Williams again, but I don't think I'm not sure if it's a relative. Isaac. Could be a relative because she's given a bit of data around about 1911. So that could have been when he passed. If it is when he passed, then he could well be a relative of hers.
Relative of Annie's.
Isaac Williams.
Is Annie with them?
No. She's here, but not with them. Hopefully she's with them, the other group. Trying to figure out what relation it is. Just can't get the relationship, whether it's an uncle or father's brother. He used to frequent this place. And he's bringing through this other woman, which means that some or other they're tied to each other, you know what I mean? And the name is a favourite one of ours, Jim.
Go on.
What's the name we dread?
Sarah.
Sarah.
Sarah's come through before with
Sarah.
something to do then.
This one's Sarah. Hang on. Ames. Sarah Ames.
Ames.
Ames. A-M.
A-I-M-E-S.
A-M-E-S, I think it is. She's a green. Yeah. Yes. And she's family as well. But she's not giving me the link as to how exactly she is related. I don't quite understand that one, but she is related.
I thought Sarah was Annie's best friend.
That was Sarah Williams, or wasn't
Is that? I can't
it? Yeah, isn't there one she was in the shop or something?
remember.
I vaguely remember that. I think this is a different one. Apparently they are local. Yeah, they're not from away or anything. So they must have lived here around about the same time as Annie. I'm not getting the relate because Annie's not here. I'm not getting the link as easy.
If you want to tell us something, just talk to us like.
The knobs just come out, yeah?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Right. From where?
Your left arm.
This arm, yeah?
Yeah.
You sure it's not that light?
No.
I'm only debunking it.
No.
Can you see the light on the recorder?
No.
So it's not that.
You'll see it after.
Well, I know there's no... I can't see any flies or anything in here. So I'll look at that after. We'll have to have a look on there though, because I haven't got a laptop tonight.
Orbs are said to be the first sign of a spirit trying to manifest itself. You can see a light come out of my side and head over to the doorway. When we analysed the clip, we realised the orb was actually a reflection from the red backlit screen of the Mel meter in my hand, debunking this piece of evidence.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, I rely a lot on, like yourself, when you've found that airman. I mean, otherwise I would never have... You know what I mean? You actually went to the grave, didn't you?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done that, you see, so you found quite a bit
I
out.
don't know what it is about him, I just kind of
Yeah, you sort of...
had
Yeah.
a connection.
Yeah.
Not with him and Annie, but
I think it was the way that he went as well, and he was thrown forward from his...
so tragic.
You know, he was like, he didn't know he was dead. He
Yeah,
didn't know.
somebody you know, like.
We were talking about him, weren't we?
Yeah.
But he was thrown from the crash, wasn't he? It could happen to you, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Like if a car crash, you out of your body straight away, you die instantly.
I think what really upset me about him was that he was Swedish.
Yeah.
Well, Swedish extraction, Canadian.
Kind of lasting, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's over here fighting, or
Yeah.
whatever he's doing. You know, he could have had a sweetheart at home, she could have been pregnant. The whole life was wiped.
That goes for all of them, doesn't it?
Tragic, you know. You just don't know, do you? And foreign country, and you think about your lads,
Yeah.
exactly the same somewhere else, and what really awful thing war is.
But you got to remember that even Poles and
Yeah.
you know there was like Norwegians, they all
Yeah.
came to fight for the RAF with the RAF.
Yeah.
And the Poles had their own squadron, didn't they?
Yeah.
A lot of them were killed. Same as in the army, Jim, wasn't it? They, you know.
I mean, now you can go over to France, or you know, well, you can go to Australia. You go anywhere now, can't you? In a mourn, but then all they got was his face and his dad. You know, nobody would come over.
No.
Nobody would be at his funeral.
I mean, I did see you a couple of times in the gym, going to somewhere like Flanders Field or somewhere like that. As a medium, what's left there, there's still, there's bound to be lost souls.
But that must be harrowing for you.
Well, it would be, but I mean, it'd still be a challenge.
Well, we don't get with Corey, do
We
we?
did, I mean, there was a pile of it, we felt the ground move there, I know, didn't we?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. But it's somewhere like, you can just imagine Ypres or, you know, the Somme, somewhere like that. I mean, there must be, it's like Gettysburg in America, isn't it? I mean, they reckon that they're still roaming there, don't they? And they must do. But it'd still be, it'd be nice to try and help them.
Yes, yes.
You know, that's the biggest thing, if I could help go over, like.
Yeah.
I know I'm reluctant sometimes to certain places, and I don't want to let them, I don't want to send them over because they don't want to go over. But I should think in that case, with battlefields, they would want to go over, most of them. Because some of them, they don't even know they're dead half of them.
We usually finish our investigations with traditional forms of communication. After an inconclusive Ouija board session, we thought we would try some glass divination.
Isaac, is Annie there?
No.
Oh. Said she was missing in action, did he?
Do you know Annie? Isaac, do you know Annie?
Yeah.
Were you related to Annie?
Yes.
Was she your mum?
Yeah.
I can't remember that one.
Did you have any brothers or sisters?
Yes.
Go to catch it just in case.
Take that to the middle.
How many brothers did you have, Isaac?
Doesn't know how to count.
No,
No,
well, you
that's
can't,
stupid. Did you have one brother?
Yes. That's a bit.
Right, just get it to the middle. Try that one.
Did you have two brothers?
Oh, now you've confused it.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have 3 brothers? Did you have more than 2 brothers, Isaac? Did you have a sister?
It's confused it now with the glass.
Are you still with us, Isaac?
Is it because Mike's gone?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you want Mike to come back?
He's coming.
Thanks, you in.
Right, carry on.
Isaac, is your dad here?
Answer the question.
Isaac, are you still with us?
We concluded our investigation, but while discussing the results, we still seem to be getting validation on our K2 meter.
But that's quite recent because that was around 1900 and I've never actually said it was Annie Williams to anybody else because I think it's still the same family that live there.
Well, this Isaac's coming around to 1500.
Yeah,
I wasn't getting that, I was getting 18, end of the 1800s.
Well, that might have been Helen.
Yeah.
No, I think so.
Maybe she was 15. Could be.
Maybe Sarah was 15. I don't know.
Yeah,
They
because
seem
they
a bit, they're not very clear tonight. Normally there's
They
they're
didn't say
very
nothing after 15, did they? It was 15 N.
I was getting the. I usually get the dates, don't I? I wasn't getting a clear date.
yeah.
But I was getting round about the 1880s, 1890s, 1900s.
Upstairs you've got 1880s.
It was only when analysing the footage a couple of days later that I found our most compelling piece of evidence to date. During the Ouija board and glass divination sessions, we'd had a digital recorder placed on the table for the whole time. It had been recording for nearly half an hour when we caught this Class A EVP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we risk one of them, please?
Yes, of course.
Can we risk one? Risk one.
Sorry. Not for that week. Sorry. Not for that week. Not for that week.
This EVP was caught in between the 2 sessions, just as Mike was bringing a glass to the table. Unfortunately, we weren't recording video at this time. We can account for every group member at the moment this EVP was captured. This is a clip of the audio file running through the analyzer on our computer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we risk one of them, please?
Yes, of course.
Can we risk one? Risk one.
Sorry. Not for that week. Sorry. Not for that week.
You can see the waveforms produced by the voices of group members, but the EVP hardly registers, even though it sounds like the voice is right next to the recorder. This EVP was captured just after midnight, making the date the 16th of June, exactly 2 years since my dad passed away. Even as a skeptic, I am unable to find a logical explanation for this piece of evidence. Is it just a coincidence, or is it paranormal? Believe what you want to believe.
Not for that week.